it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexualized, my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that great big subscribe button and please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it, if you find the content useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form, or you just want to give this channel some love. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing anything against a person's will is abuse, right? Anything sexual that's against a person's will is abuse. So what do I mean by this? So I'm on Facebook dating. If you haven't caught up with my latest videos, last night, unfortunately, I wasn't able to do one because I had something crop up that I had to take urgent priority. But I have been on Facebook dating now for less than a week, about 5 days, I think it is, 6 days maybe. I think that it's Thursday now, and I joined Saturday night, I think it was. So last week, so yeah, less than a week. And obviously I'm asexual, that's why I do this channel. I lack sexual attraction, and this makes trying to find a guy for a romantic relationship really, really difficult. Because I'm very super romantic. I love kissing. I love holding hands. I love just being in a guy's cuddle. I love talking. I love sharing deepest, darkest secrets. And I just love romance and the idea of a beautiful soulmate, you know? So for me, love isn't about sex. I've never... Hello, Sam! Lots of love, my best friend. Nice to see you. So for me personally, love has never ever had anything to do with sex. Like, I don't like sex. I don't need it. I don't want it. I'm getting a bit fed up lately because a lot of the people that even on my friends list, you know, the people that are friending me are kind of like friending me for sex and stuff. And it's like, you know, I just want someone to love me for my personality, you know. I'm absolutely fed up with guys. Just that's all they want. And there's this guy that's been on my friends list for quite some time. And, you know, he yesterday sent me like some emojis in private chat in Facebook Messenger. And I'm like, I'm not interested in sex. And he's like, why? I said, you should know by now. It's like he's been friends with me on Facebook for years. So I just told him I was unfriending him and blocked him, you know? Because at the end of the day, it clearly states on my profile main section, I keep putting posts that I'm not interested in sex. And it's like, how many times do I have to tell you? Bang, bang, brick wall, brick wall. Do you know what I mean? It's really like bashing your head against the brick wall. And so that drives me nuts. And a lot of the people that are coming up on Facebook dating, they're really contradictory in the profile. They say looking for something serious and casual relationship and friendship or whatever. You know what I mean? Like all four categories. If someone says they're looking for something casual and they're looking for a serious relationship, clearly they're not going to be seriously looking for a serious relationship because they're not serious about it because they're out open to casual stuff. So it's just a complete contradiction. And basically, it's basically saying I'm serious about having a casual relationship so I can have friends with benefits. Or in the case of sexuals, friends with FCUK benefits, you know? And so it's just like pretty disgusting. And it's like, you know, is there no one actually looking for a serious committed relationship out there? You know, a lot of them that are on the Facebook dating aren't even looking for that, you know, and even some of the ones that put they're looking for serious relationship are actually looking for just casual sex, you know. A good thing is that a lot of younger guys like older women on there, but the fact is they're after sex from the older woman. So anyway, with that in mind, there was a young guy on there that I started talking to who is 20. I think I said that to you, that there was this guy that had been talking to me and in the UK, and he looked Indian. Actually, he was very good looking, very cute. But, you know, I let him see my Facebook profile because I didn't mind doing that. I said, you know, you know, what was he wanting out of this conversation? Did he want a video chat, a date, or what did he know? He said he was new to these apps. And anyway, he said that he's not asexual, that he's straight, right? And then he said that I don't mind if I wouldn't get sex in relation, but just I wish I could get nipples sucking. Otherwise, it's okay. You know, so I am not interested in being, you know, in having my nipples sucked. So he basically said, I just want to let you know I'm heterosexual. You don't want sexual relation, that's fine. Basically, I like boob sucking only, but no sex I no need. And while some asexuals who don't mind boob sucking might think this is great because he's saying that, I mean, obviously, let me tell you a bit of a icky thing, right? The woman's top bit, right, is one of the most sensitive parts on. Yeah, Sam, I'll try and just say it like not too yuckily. So the woman's top bit, so the most sensitive part of her body, and I know for a fact because I've watched other videos from different channels, and I watched this one woman, and she said never ever let a guy suck your nipples, basically, because if you're a woman, that really makes you emotionally connected to him and attached to him. So if you are with a guy and he's looking for something casual, or he doesn't really want a serious committed relationship, and you want to stop yourself getting really emotionally attached to the guy, do not let him do that to you. So although this is an asexual channel, I actually think that's some quite good advice for anyone who's got a pair of the boobies, if you know what I mean. Which isn't just women these days, obviously there's trans and all types of genders, right? But it's very important, I think, to say that, because I didn't really know that so much, because I mean, I could have gathered it, but I don't really think about it as such. So I thought that was quite insightful. And she said, you know, never, ever let him do that. I mean, obviously, if you're a serious committed relationship, the guy's really, really serious about you, don't mind that, that's fine. But you don't just let a guy do that to you very early on, and especially if you want something casual, right? Now, this guy, he hadn't really... you know, he wasn't really talking much about personality, he wasn't really having intellectual conversation with me. It's very, very basic talk, you know, so I can't really, you know, it's very hard to even know what a guy's going to be like. And when it's very sexual in the beginning, and when, you know, he's talking about that and he's not really giving much else of his personality away or intelligence, it's kind of like, well, you know, it's not really going to go anywhere, is it? But, you know, so he kept saying that he, you know, that he's basically fine, that he needs boob sucking only, right? But, you know, I don't like that. You know, like years ago, my ex used to do that sometimes, but I remember that sometimes I was okay with it, and other times I just didn't want him to do that to me. And nowadays, I'm really like, it's my own. I don't want a guy to do that. I don't like it. I don't feel comfortable about it. I feel like really weird. It's like, my boobs are my own, just back off. I'm not interested in you touching them. I'm really not. And it's very interesting because on my personal Facebook profile, I'm actually connected to two sex coaches, one of whom interviewed me and was on this channel, interviewed me about asexuality. Now, the other one, she's very, very open-minded. And she was asking me, because she was trying to understand how I like to passionately kiss without having sex, how I like to passion without sex. I was explaining. She understood quite well. But then she said, oh, what about breasts being stroked? And I'm like, no, I don't want a guy to do that to me, because I just find it disgusting. I'm really repulsed by that lately. I thought, would I change my mind? I think I've gone the more repulsion way with it. Because at one point I thought, well, maybe I don't mind. But now I feel like I've really gone... I don't know if it will stay like this, but it certainly is getting more and more like this. I just feel repulsed by a guy touching that. I don't mind if he's got his arms over like this and he's like, you know, like got his arms around me and he's got like that and he can feel that like just with the side of his arm. I don't mind that, but actually putting his hand on them or sucking is just like, oh, sucking particularly. It's like, no, it's like, get off. I'm not like suckling a baby. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I know that's a very erogenous and sensual thing and a lot of people like it, and I wasn't repulsed by it years ago, like to that extent, you know, like I didn't mind sometimes, but now, and I just like, I feel really repulsed by it. it's like I like younger guys, but not to be doing that with, if you know what I mean. It kind of reminds me of a baby, and it's like, I don't want a baby, I want a guy. So I feel very repulsed by that moment. So anyway, he said that, you know, he said he likes boob sucking only, and then he repeated himself, no need sex, just... So I said, I don't like my boobs being sucked. I'm not interested in a guy doing that to me or seeing me naked, so I guess we wouldn't be suited. Good luck. I am sure you can find plenty of sexual girls for you. I need a strong guy like me. And he's like, I no need sex, just boob sucking only. So I said to him, I don't like my boobs being sucked. I'm okay with Tom kissing a guy's mouth, and I'm okay with kissing his chest and licking and sucking his nipples in a seriously committed relationship. This is not something I would do on a date, but I'm not okay with him doing that to me. My boobs are my own, you know? And he's like, I said I also have to like a guy's personality and have intelligent, deep and meaningful conversations and be able to emotionally connect with him, which is really the most important things to me. I said I am not looking for a casual boyfriend, but a guy who is proud to be my guy and who is proud to be seen in public with me and in Facebook photos, regardless of his sexual orientation. I need a strong guy in this respect who knows what he wants and doesn't care what the world thinks and is faithful to me. And then he goes, but I'm male, mean straight. I don't mind if I wouldn't get sex in relation, but I wish I could get nipple sucking. Otherwise, it's okay. And then I said, I understand what you are saying, but I don't like my breast sucked. It's not nice for me. It doesn't feel good. And if something doesn't feel good, you shouldn't do it. It is a boundary I don't want crossing. I personally hate women's naked bodies. They disgust me. I am nudity repulsed and don't want a guy to see me naked at all. I am okay with seeing his chest naked, but not him being naked below the waist. The aesthetic attraction is all in a guy's face for me and his frame. I am not into mussy guys or hairy guys. I like a guy's hands around my back when he kisses me, not touching my breasts. Guys who like breasts turn me off. They really do. Guys who say I'm a boob man, it's like, makes me want to throw up. And then I said I like a teenager style relationship with tons of tongue kissing for very long periods of time, sitting on a guy's lap and in between his legs with his clothes on, not off, body intertwined with clothes on when kissing in private. Public kissing I love a lot too, and holding hands and cuddling wherever and wherever we go. I meant wherever and whenever we go. Whenever and wherever we go. Talking like best friends, him sharing his most innermost thoughts and feelings and secrets with me more than anyone he has ever told before. Going to the cinema together, dancing together, zoos, theme parks and aquariums together, talking about business stuff together. And then he said, I can understand you, but am shit. I can stay without sex, but can't without sucking when we meet privately. And so, well, at least he's honest about being shit. And I said, well, doing something to any woman against her will is not acceptable. Anything sexual a woman doesn't want, you need to respect. Otherwise, it's sexual abuse regardless of her sexual orientation. I am looking for love, not a guy who can't control himself and doesn't care about how I feel. You aren't the guy for me, good luck. And then he put, cheers, have a nice one. And it's just like, you know, it's like, really? Do you know what I mean? It's like anything that someone doesn't like doing is just like, you know, against the will is abuse. It's sexual abuse. You know, I basically could see that guy. Basically, all he wants is when he comes to meet me, he'll just get straight onto boob sucking, which just reminds me of a little infant kid who needs his mummy's milk. And yeah, it's such a chore to explain to him. Exactly, Sam. You know, it's like, do I have to keep spelling it out? It's basically like, oh, well, because I'm not asexual, I'm heterosexual. You should accept the fact that that I don't want sex, but I still need boob sucking. It's like, no, because I don't want that. You know, and it's basically saying as soon as I meet you, I'll have to have that, as in a must, as in, you know, he can't live without it. And I think there are guys out there. There are guys that can't control themselves. And I worry for a woman who gets in a future relationship with them. Because whether you're married, in a relationship, engaged, or whatever your status is, you can't be doing something the other person doesn't want. So that's why it's important to find the right guy for you in the meantime. I mean, this other guy's connected to me. And so this other guy goes, You have attractive girls. Sorry, you are attractive girl. I like you. Like with me, be friend. I have WhatsApp and you. That's not even proper English. This guy says he's 21, but he looks more like 31. Oh, dearie me. He looks very old. Oh, no, he's 22, it says. That's someone else on there, you know? And then there's another guy on there. So, oh yeah, he messaged me a few days ago, but he didn't bother, so I didn't bother. Yeah, so it's just like, it's just like, why don't you understand that when I say I don't want to do something, I don't want to do it, and it's a boundary that I don't want crossing, and I'm very kind of like knowing more and more about what I want, and I really like this area here to me. It's like, just keep your hands off it. I don't, like I said, I don't mind him putting his arms around me. That's about it, I don't want his, and I don't want his lips. It's just like, but I thought it's very interesting what that other woman said on another channel. It's really intimate, and if you do that, you tend to get very emotionally attached to the guy. And if it's a guy who's not wanting something serious, a long-term current relationship, it's doing yourself a huge disfavor because it will automatically emotionally connect with you. I think it probably is like the mother-baby type of thing when you're a kid. This is a bit weird. I'm not into seeing that. I get really repulsed at the moment. So yeah, and then there's another Indian guy. There's been a few Indian guys that connect with me on Facebook, and they'll barely speak to me. There's one guy today, and he came on, and he was like, started talking to me, saying, "Are you married?" I thought, here we go again. And he lives in the UK though, so it's a shame because I love Indian guys, and he's 22, and he started, but it was all about, "Hi, are you married? Are you single?" And he started saying about, when he said about marriage, I'm like, oh, and he's like, "Oh, I'm looking to settle in the UK." I'm like, yes, but I don't want marriage. Why don't you want marriage? It's like, oh God. I think probably, it's most likely after a visa. I don't know. But actually, some of his posts was quite inspirational. I liked. You know what I mean? They all want visas. They don't talk to you very much, or when they talk to you, it's when they want something really. So, but you just have to remember, as an asexual person, you have rights yourself, and you shouldn't accept a person who tries to violate them, especially, at any point. If you see someone like, can't live without something, you just need to move on, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be very happy. I can't be happy. It's basically like, do you know what I mean? It's pressure, isn't it? If someone wants to be with you and do something that you won't want to do, it's just pressure. And you don't need that in your life. I think there's enough people in the world, even though it's very difficult to find someone for a relationship, there is enough people in the world to go around. You know what I mean? So, I clearly haven't met the right asexual guy for me yet. And going back into Facebook dating is oh yeah, Sam, but not impossible. Yeah, you and your partner are lovely. Yeah, it's not impossible. It's just very difficult, And I was hoping that maybe some guy who friended me who was Indian, like, did live in the UK. I thought just maybe he might be asexual, possibly, or maybe he might actually stay in this country. But that guy, anyway, he's like only over for study. They're all like, they're nearly all over for study, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I find they're right, like they're married or they're overstayed. Sam, no one should be forced or pressured into doing anything they don't want to do. Thank you. Yeah. And years ago, because I was so interested in a romantic relationship, I would have like kind of pushed myself to not do that type of thing in order to not lose a person. But now I'm like, I don't really need a guy. Like, it'd be nice to have a romantic relationship. It's not something I actually can't live without. Do you know what I mean? Because I can. So I'd rather not be with a guy who just wants that type of thing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just like, and I actually put in my profile, my Facebook dating profile, that I don't like sex, and I'm assuming this guy here has not read it, because he's got a show Caesar. He can see a picture because he sent a picture of me. Oh well, he's commented on a picture on Facebook dating. But I decided that I would change it because I was absolutely fed up of and this guy's already calling me baby. You know what happens when they call you baby. Sam, I tried to put myself into doing certain things to get a partner, but thankfully never went through with it. Fought through all the crap and found someone amazing. Oh, that's really awesome. I'm glad you found someone amazing for you. It's really good. They are a very nice person for you. Yeah, you've got to go through a lot of crap, haven't you? You know, a lot of crap to get to anything good. It's like I've been going through crap for 6 years. I don't think it's going to stop. I've probably got another 4 at least, you know. I've probably got 10 years of crap, you know. It's like, oh, God. But it's something I'm very, very keen to do. I know I've got an asexual soulmate. I believe he's asexual. I don't really believe he's heterosexual. And I don't know if he's more on the more sexual end of the asexual spectrum, though, so he could be grey. And then, you know, and I just know he's Indian. I honestly believe that, you know, but I can connect a lot more emotionally to asexual guys. I find it very, very difficult to connect emotionally with sexual guys. They give nothing away. It's general chit chat about just, hi, how are you? What you up to? It's just like boring. It's like, is this the best conversation you can come up with? And it's general stuff. It's like I can't be emotionally connected to a guy who just says a few words. Do you know what I mean? It's like this one. This person said, "Hi, Sandra. How are you, baby?" It's like you've only just met me. You are an attractive girl. I like. You like me with BeFriend. I have WhatsApp and you. You know, and it's like Then there's this other guy who hasn't spoke to me for a while. And he said, "Hi, how are you doing today?" And then I said that I was Skyping my best asexual friends. They haven't spoke to me since then. And that was Tuesday when I finished Skyping you. And they're like, they said, "That's good." I said, "It's ace." And I said they were my best asexual friend. I said, "I'm asexual and sexual orientation and hate sex. My best friend is like me." And they're like, "Oh, that's good." And I'm like, did you even bother to actually listen to what I said? Mind you, at least this guy's clean shaven, better than the others. And then one guy, it was really funny. He friend requested. He connected with me, and he just like, do you know what I mean? It's really funny. And as soon as I told him asexual, he goes, "That's nice." That was it. Sam, yeah, I used to just get boring generic stuff all the time, or unwanted explicit messages. Unwanted explicit images. Yeah, it's just so boring. They're just so like, I look at a lot of the people, even aesthetically, a lot of the guys are boring for me on Facebook dating, probably because I live in the UK and I'm not really attracted that much to British guys, right? And beards just really turn me off. I can't stand beard. And it's just like, ugh. It's just like, I really can't stand beards. And so, you know, so there's not that many aesthetically attractive guys that much on Facebook dating. And there are, you know, Sam, you're like me, don't like hairy faces. No, I can't stand it. It's like, why do I want to kiss a bush? Why do I want to rub my face on a bush? Why do I want to look at a bush? Because it's like, I can go out in the garden, which isn't my garden because I haven't got a garden. My housemates have got a long garden. And I can go and get a bush and I can just stick it on my face if I really want a bush. But no, I don't want a bush. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why do they put bushes on their face? It's just so ugly to me. It's like, ugh. And my best Indian asexual friend does have a very big beard. So I have to say he is a beautiful soul. And I like him a lot as a beautiful friend. So, and apparently he gets a lot of admirers for his beard, so good for him. But in terms of me romantic-wise, because obviously he is interested in guys, I'm interested in guys, so we're not compatible romantically for each other. So in terms of me being romantically attracted to guys and looking for a romantic guy life partner, you know, I hate beards. I can't stand them, you know, and like guys look so much older than them. Sam, yeah, not aesthetically nice for me, facial hair. Yeah, it's just, I'm really not into it at all. And it just puts me off. And there's so many foreign guys that have beards as well. It's like, what is it with the beards? It makes them look so much older. I'm thinking, well, if I wanted an older guy, I'd be attracted to older guys, and I'm not. And if a guy who was younger started having a beard and I was in a relationship with him, it just turned me off aesthetically from him. I couldn't be as aesthetically attracted to him. Because for me, the facial hair in and of itself is grotesque. You know what I mean? He could probably get away with a little bit. So if there's a little bit around his chin here, maybe a tiny little bit on there, he could get away with it. But it's not a guy I would really like to be in a long-term relationship with, ideally, with facial hair. I mean, all my exes, none of them, the ones that I was in an actual relationship rather than just dated, was had facial hair. They just didn't, you know, and not many of the guys I've dated have ever had facial hair either. I think there's been one. And there's obviously, I did kiss an Indian guy last year who did have some facial hair, and that did shock me. That did shock me that I did that. I was so like, he's an Indian guy. I'll make an exception to the rule just this once. And it wasn't too bad. At first it was like, oh my god, I'm feeling your hair, and then after a while I got used to it and worked my way around it. But yeah, I've never dated someone with facial hair. Yeah, it's a bit weird. It's a bit like when I dated that heterosexual older guy, and when I hugged him, it felt weird. It's like I'm hugging an older guy. This is kind of really weird. He's older. It's bizarre, you know. But like this guy on Facebook dating, how are things? I put, hi, I'm just typing up an important letter to do with work. And I said, how are you? I see you are a DJ. I used to be a hospital radio presenter years ago. Now I'm a YouTuber. Love music though. He goes, I'm good, thanks. Just doing uni work. And wow, that's amazing. I said, what are you studying? He said, photography. And then, what is it you're looking for? He asked me. Well, at least he bothered to ask me what I'm looking for. But the problem is, it says in my bio what I want, and none of them read my bio. I'm like, well, I've already written it in my bio, but here we go again. Do you know what I mean? So I said, it says in my bio, a serious and committed, no sex ever relationship. I've actually put in the beginning now of my profile bio, no, don't like sex. And I think they still ignore it. And I said, with a cute, trustworthy, and honest younger guy, I usually mostly get attracted to foreign-looking guys. So this guy wasn't foreign, he was British. I like deep soulmate connection, intelligent conversation, bestest ever friends style relationship, a guy who shares all his secrets with me and is sensitive and strong, no kids, no marriage, and I prefer to live alone, super romantic and like to kiss a lot with clothes on, cuddle, hold hands and going out dancing, PDA, to the cinema, zoos, aquariums, theme parks for food. I'm openly asexual, not heterosexual, so I must be supportive of this. And then he said, that's completely fine and that's up to you, people should understand that. And I just said thanks, and that was it. Sam, you don't expect them to actually read them, do you? Well, you didn't say do you, but you said question mark, laugh out loud. Yeah, they'd have to have a brain for that, wouldn't they? I'm sorry. Yeah, they've got too many balls and dicks and not enough brain, haven't they? Sam, it would be nice if they did, of course, but no one seems to bother to. I always did, so I know what sort of thing to message and talk about. Yeah, it's just like they completely ignore it. They just look at my picture, which is great. I've got guys loving my picture and I'm an attractive girl and they're like, wow. And they're like, oh, you're so nice. And oh, look at you, beautiful. And I think, you know, it's nice that they like my looks. Don't get me wrong, but it's like they see me and want sex. It's like, can you not just love me for my personality? I just want a guy to obviously like kissing me, but really just be into me for my personality. Just be like, oh God, I've got to see Sandra because I just love her personality. Do you know what I mean? That's what I really need, a guy to be so into my personality, just so into my personality, and just like, I've got to be with her because her personality is addictive to me rather than sex. You know what I mean? In a good way. Addictive personality in a good way, not bad way, a healthy way. Like, as in, you know, it's good for them. It's a nice energy boost. And it's like that forever. You know, and so I just like, I find it really difficult. It's like, oh God, not more people to go through. And it's just like, and it's like, sometimes I thought about deleting the Facebook dating, but I've only just started and they are, it's better than that blimmin' Mingle 2 that I was on. That Mingle 2, there was so many fake profiles and they didn't even have even minute, decent start of conversation. There's so many fake accounts. I feel like this is a little bit better than that. And there are people near me, you know, so you don't have to go around searching miles over the world for them. So there are people, you know, like near me, but the people near me, I mean, there's one guy that wasn't bad looking in my city actually, but I just didn't trust him. He looked so sexual. and was older than I would usually go for early 30s, I think. So I'm not really wanting to do that. I prefer a guy in his early to mid 20s, really. It's always my favourite type of age. Sam, Mingle Tomb seemed very full of fakes when I used it. I didn't stay on it long. Yeah, I just think it was full of fakes. This is a little bit better Facebook dating, and I'm kind of like seeing how it goes. I just think it's that there's got to be an Indian asexual guy on there. I mean, come on, like Facebook is so huge, it's got thousands of people on it. That's why I think I'm more likely to find someone on it than a lot of other sexual dating sites, you know. Not that I really want to be on them, because, you know, there's a lot more people on Facebook. There's thousands, so there's bound to be an asexual guy somewhere on there. Mind you, he's probably going to be British. You know, it's like, where are all the Indian asexual guys in the UK? It's like, do I have to use a gramophone? You know what I mean? But I know a lot of them want marriage, the ones that are over here. It's like, I don't want marriage. What is it with a marriage thing? Boing, boing, boing. It's like, I'm a business girl. I'm not into marriage. I'm not into cooking and cleaning, doing housework for a guy. And oh my God, I don't want to be a slave. It's like, I just want to do my business stuff and have a decent relationship with a beautiful, loving, kind, caring guy who doesn't expect me to do housework for him. You would have thought that it was asking the absolute world, planet Earth and moon, but you know what I mean? It's like so difficult to get. And it's like, you know, like some of the Indian guys that connect, the sexual ones, I can't emotionally connect to them a lot of the time. It's just really, they don't really talk much. Whereas asexual guys, it's like really weird. It's like they're much more softer and squidgy, and you can feel their hearts more. Do you know what I mean? That's what I really feel about asexual guys. In comparison to sexuals. Sexual guys, it's like they've got this whole wall around them which is basically coated in sexual energy, and it's like there's not so much, I don't even know if there's so much inside them. I mean, that might sound really rude to sexuals, but it's like, hello, is there anyone actually in there, like a soul? Because it just seems to me like so boring and so fake and so like what's the word, mediocre, is that the word I'm looking for? You know, like superficial, I think is the word I need to use. Superficial. It's like, I want to get to the guy's heart. I want to feel his soul. I want to be in his presence and feel him right in front of me, like I can put my hands through his body into his, you know, and hold his heart, and he can do the same with mine. It's a really kind of like spiritual soul type of connection. And I really, really, you know, hope I can get that. I mean, I have experienced it with a few guys before, not very many. And it's really a shame when it doesn't work out, you know, when you can feel their heart. It's really, you know, when there's like no walls and you can just feel heart to heart and have that experience. It is very hard to emotionally detach from that then, I think. But you just have to remember that you have to move on. They weren't your actual soulmate for a lifetime. They were just a soul that you connected with, and it just didn't work out, unfortunately, you know. I think that's quite hard, you know. So in some ways you could argue, well, it's better that there's a lot of guys that aren't like that soul type of person, but then you know what I mean, it is good in some ways, but then it's like, you know, I feel it's very rare to get the precious heart to heart. Sam, you're finding me's out there looking for you too. Oh, bless you. I honestly do think there's a younger asexual Indian I keep picturing this guy in my head. He only looks about 23 though, if that, or younger. And I honestly believe that he really, really, really is besotted with me in a good way, and that he really dotes on me and really looks forward, and he talks to me really intelligently. And he's just so beautiful, but he really loves my personality, he really loves my intelligence. Like, we connect with our brains and souls and hearts, and then probably the kissing, actually. So it's not actually based on kissing, it's based on like deep connection. Yeah, I actually think the kissing's like the last thing probably with this person. It's really weird. You know, and I do think there's an Indian guy, and he's different, and he's like, oh my God, am I ever going to find someone because I'm so different? And he's going to like older women as well. I know that about him. Because he's going to be very intelligent and older for his age, and he's going to be like, where is she? I'm all alone. And I'll be like, I'm here, come and get me. Where are you? You know? And I guess the timing's just not right, you know. I just have to keep saying the time is not right. There's so much I need to do in my life, and I need to get a shift on with it. So today, this week so far has been very interesting. It's kind of been different to what I expected, so I'm getting a little bit behind with what I intended to do now. But yeah. So, but anything that you come across on dating, if you say to someone you don't want to do it, and they're basically, well, I can live without that. When you meet me, I'm going to do that to you. That if they did that to you, you don't want it. It's sexual abuse at the end of the day. So just see the red flags from the beginning and just don't get involved with that type of person. It's not worth it. Your dignity, your pride, your respect, your caringness about yourself is much more important than someone doing something to you that you don't want to do. And there's plenty of people out there that are not gonna do stuff you don't want to do. When you've got a guy in front of you, so basically, I can't live without this sexual thing, that's fair enough, but unless he gets a woman that wants that sexual thing, it's going to be abuse if he went and did that with a woman who didn't want it. There'll be plenty of women that don't mind it. Plenty of women love their being sucked, and so it's just, I really don't. I'm really not into that. It's not my thing. I don't like it. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like, get the hell off. What are you doing? And yeah, I just don't like it. I'm really repulsed by it these days. I just think I'm getting more and more and more repulsed by these things. I have no problem with other people doing that. Like, if they want to do it and love it, go for gold. I mean, it's great. Erogenous zone to lick, kiss, suck. But for me, it's like, no, I'm happy to do that with a guy's chest, but I don't want him to do that to mine. I'm quite happy to give him a beautiful good time with his chest, but just I don't want it done to mine. It's like, I mean, in a way, it's better for him. He don't have to do much work, does he? All he has to do is lay back on the bed and go, I'm going to enjoy. Do you know what I mean? That's all he has to do. It's not very difficult, is it? Like, do you know what I mean? You would think that some guys would like that. I'm sure there's a guy out there that really does like that, and he'll be like, oh yeah, kiss my chest, because I really like it, He'll be like, oh, that's so nice, Be like very sensual, and he'll be like, oh, that makes me tingle, So Sam, yeah, laugh out loud, yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like, the guy's not really going to do any work. If he's got to do stuff with a woman, he's doing work, All that has to do is just lie there and, yeah, not much really. Obviously, when I'm kissing him, it would be nice if he reciprocated. But I mean, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, what's the matter with these guys? It's like, you don't have to do much work. I'm actually, like, doing more work than you are, so why would you mind that? But yeah, like, any guys that are into booze, it's just really off-putting. I just want to throw up. It's like, I don't like that type of guy, because he's going to be looking at pornography usually. He's going to be friending women that have got big boobies hanging out. He's going to be looking at movies with boobies in it, and it's like, oh, I want to throw up now, I need a guy who's not interested really in the naked body, someone who's interested in the soul of a person, the heart of a person, the brain of a person, and the lips areas, the lip area on the face, not down below the waist, And I just think, that's going to be so much better for me. And, I just, say to and encourage you now that if you're in the same situation, you're dating and you're asexual, please be honest. I mean, I'm a bit concerned that a couple of my asexual friends have gone on to Facebook dating and they're not actually being honest and saying up front they're asexual, and they just, like, don't lead people on. Don't make people think that you're heterosexual. It's not fair on them. You know what I mean? Just like it's not fair that asexuals, that sexuals pretend they're asexual. It's not fair that asexuals pretend they're sexual either. It's just not good for either sexual orientation to pretend they're like the other one. I mean, Rob, big shout out to Rob. Rob's put on their profile that they're asexual. So because they saw my Facebook post and decided to try Facebook dating. So good for Rob, But I'd encourage anyone who is trying it out to just be honest, At the end of the day, it's going to take, like, there are billions of people in the world, but there's only going to be a small, minute popularity. There's only going to be a small, minute population that's actually going to have a chance of being the right person for you. You have to remember that. I think people take it for granted sometimes, and that they need to realize what they've got when they've got it. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people, they just let people walk out their life when that could have been a really great relationship, but they just couldn't put in the time, energy, or effort. Do you know what I mean? Like Sam, I know you do, but and I know a couple of others that do. Sam, when I was using dating sites, I always put that I was asexual and not interested in sexual stuff, and it was always just ignored. And I get explicit messages, etc. Yeah, Like, I'm here, like, now, and I bet you if I say to this guy on this Facebook dating that I'm not interested in sex, I'll put, oh, I wrote in my bio, I hate sex. Let me put it in my bio that I hate sex. I bet he comes back and says, either, oh, why don't you like sex? So I've just typed now, I wrote in my bio that I hate sex, question mark. So, no WhatsApp. Everyone that asks me for WhatsApp, they always want sex usually. It's just like, I don't know, that must be the app for sex or something. No WhatsApp, not looking for sex. Please read my bio, because I have to spell out that you can't even read a bio. Sorry, Sam, let me go. Oh, or you haven't had mine. Oh, yes. It's disgusting, isn't it? Yes, if you say to someone I don't like sex, it'll be like, oh, you haven't had mine, as in you haven't had my dick. It's like someone's going to come up with a magic dick that's going to automatically change someone's sexual orientation and make an asexual person sexual. It's like, no, I'm not interested in your dick. I don't find it magical. I actually think the male penis is just like a sack of screwed up potatoes. It's gross. It's like, oh. But yes, I hate the woman's body even more. So apart from my own, it's like gross. It's like, I'm not interested in the naked body. Okay, I like a guy's chest these days if he's got no chest hair and he's Indian and he's got coloured skin and he doesn't look like he's really ribby and muscly, because that turns me off. I like baby smooth skin, like no ribs, no muscles. Yeah, just nice. So I put to this guy, I wrote in my bio that I hate sex. No WhatsApp, not looking for sex. Please read my bio. And then this guy goes, hi. And I'm going to put, hi. I learned from other dating coaches that, you just give as much, you put as much effort into someone as they do to you. So if they're only saying hi, you just say hi back. Sam, no, not potatoes. Oh, sorry, Sam. Yes, potatoes are much nicer and tastier than balls and dicks. Ugh. Yes, the real potatoes are. They do look like whizzing potato sacks, so that's what I used to think. Oh no! Now every time I eat potatoes, I'm like thinking, I hope not. But I don't usually. No, because you like potatoes. It's one of your favourite reads. I like roast potatoes as well. Potatoes are my favourite. Oh, food. Oh, Sam's got a really sad face. Oh no, I'm sorry. I feel really bad now. I feel so bad. That face looks like a really sweet, cute, sad face. Not that I'm interested in you, like, romantically, but the actual little face looks very sweet and cute and like really sad. It's like, oh my god. I feel really bad now, but I could have said it looks like Twiglets. Do you like Twiglets and port scratches? I better be careful what I'm saying, because I'll end up being too naughty on here for an asexual channel. Oh man, I just, like, you know what I mean? Once I get started, I just can't stop being naughty. I just find it funny because I'm not interested in it. They can be pork scratchings, pretty fitting, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much what they do. There's a guy on Facebook dating, and literally his picture is of him with his hand down in his underpants. He's got no trousers on, feeling his penis. It's disgusting. It's like you're masturbating yourself and taking a picture of it in your pants. It's hideous. Oh my lord, it's like, how can you do that? How can you put yourself out there like that? And it's just gross. One, it's, I don't want to see it, and two is, why on earth would you want everyone else to see it? It's just like horrible. You can't see it. It's not naked, but he's naked apart from pants and got his hand there. It's like, this is just gross. It's like, oh, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, 4 people's like me on there. Guess what? And you know what I mean? Something casual and long-term relationship. Whenever they say something casual and long-term relationship, you can tell it's just looking for something casual. Do I look like I'm looking for something casual? I put a long-term relationship. But some of them, they just filter out, put their filters on anything. Long-term relationship, casual, chatting, friendship. Those are the 4 like options, basically. So you can change your filters to how you want it. And if you have no preference, I could come up in their feed. But all they've got is my face. I mean, it's nice. Obviously, I must be very, very aesthetically attractive to keep getting all these guys just liking me for my picture. Which, obviously, my picture's good. But it's kind of like, oh, and look, there's another guy with a beard. Oops. Look, this guy's got beard too. What a surprise. It's like, what is it with the beards? They just love beards. It's like, I get all the guys with beards. It's like, I don't like beards. If you're romantically interested in me, shave off your beard. Please. Do you know what I mean? I feel like shouting it from the rooftops. You know, shave, no stubble, no mustache, shave. Babyface skin. Please, do you know what I mean? It's like I keep getting all these guys all the time and they just like, you know, some of their pictures, they're clean shaven, but the latest ones is beard. I think I should actually create a beard song just for a laugh. But yeah, it's like I'm not interested. And, you know, like, I don't know if it's just because asexuals are not interested in sex, that we're much more, a lot of the time when I'm talking to asexuals, I just be able to actually have a decent conversation with the ones that are really interested in me usually. Whereas these sexual guys, it's just like so like fake and superficial and just nonsense, really. It's just all very like, you know, it's just all very like, hi, how are you? How's work? What do you do for a living? Blah. It's just very, there's nothing like there very much. But it's very interesting because the last British guy I liked, he was into photography. And I keep getting guys come up that like photography, they're studying photography, or it's one of their hobbies. It's very weird. So I think photographers at the moment are attracted to me for some reason. It seems to be very interesting. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for tonight. Normally, I'll probably have another Facebook dating saga for you, but just remember, don't do anything you don't want to do. And if you've got someone already saying to you that they want to do something sexually to you that you don't want to do, just don't bother even going there and carrying on dating them or have that idea that you could get into a relationship with them, because it's just not right, you know. And I've had asexual guys who want a dominatrix, you know, and clearly if I'm with a guy in a relationship, I'm definitely not a submissive girl. But I don't want to control a guy either. I'm not into BDSM. I wouldn't want to control a guy. I wouldn't want to do stuff to him, even if he's like, oh, do stuff to me. It's like, I don't want to. I don't want to cause you pain. I don't want to hurt you. I would feel bad, and I would be having bad emotions towards myself if I did that to you, because I'm really not interested in hurting a guy or creating pain for him. You know, even if he gets pleasure out of it, I don't get a pleasure out of it. I ain't going to do that. I don't want to control a guy, you know, and I want him to be with me because he wants to be with me, not because I'm, you know, and I just not into hurting someone or tying someone up or do anything. That weird stuff to me. It's very weird stuff. It's just not interesting for me. I know some people are into that, but I'm just not. And so, you know, like, let's bear in mind that when you do get into relationship or dating, just make sure that your physical needs are compatible, even with asexuals. I mean, there are some asexuals into BDSM, you know, so, you know, like, and there's some that are into nudity and some that watch porn and some don't, you know, and you know, you need to get the right one for you. I need a guy who's really not interested in looking at movies with nakedness in, not interested in porn, not interested in naked bodies. You know, because when I go for a guy's Facebook profile and see he's got loads of women, you know, like, and he's got women and she's got like, you know, one of my Facebook friends yesterday, asexual, looked through his Facebook because I've been a little bit interested in him romantically, and I looked through his Facebook and he's got a woman on his friends list, and literally she's got a top that, you know, is like down her boobs, but you can see all her boobs out, and it's like very much boobs and not much top, if you know what I mean. It's like, you know, and it's just looking at his friends, I'm like, you're a real boob man. I'm just not into boob men. It's just really off-putting. I'm really off-putting, you know. And so, you know, I like to, if I look for a guy, I like to see that he's got cartoon films that he's liked, and he's got like a Marvel superhero movies that he's liked, and he says he doesn't put that he's interested in women, really. He just doesn't have anything that he's interested in like that relationship wise, and he's single, and he just puts like really fun stuff like you know, like super action movies, you know, superhero action movies and all that type of thing, you know, like innocent stuff, not anything sexual and naked body. See, for me, a naked body is a very sexual thing. I know some people are like, no, it's just a work of art when you do art class or in sculptures, but that's not how I feel and think about it. I think about it like it's a body that's got genitals and boobies that people do things, sexual acts with, and that's why I see it as a sexual thing, and I just don't like it. I don't like the female body whatsoever. It really, really disgusts me. I'm okay with my own, but no one else. There's no other woman. So, you know, it's just something I don't like, and I really need to find an asexual guy. But a lot of the asexual guys are into boobies and they're into nakedness, and they're still into like, you know, like, I don't need a guy who's weak. I want a strong guy, because when you look through some guys' profiles and you realize they've just got loads, the majority of their friends are women, with a part of whom I've got no or very little, well, scantily clad clothes, basically, not very many clothes on, you know, you just like, it's so off-putting. And then I think, well, what's the point in being with an asexual guy? I may as well just try the sexual guys, because there's what's the difference? Just bang my head against a brick wall again. It's like very frustrating. Sam, a lot of aces don't make any effort to make conversations either. Yes, I totally agree, Sam. I totally agree. I find that really difficult, that a lot of aces don't make any effort to make conversation. I mean, when I do talk to them, like my asexual Indian friend, I get on so well with him. We have really deep conversations, really in each other's lives a lot. You know, they're homo-romantic and they live in India, but it's really nice for me to have that soul friend there who's Indian, and it's really nice, and we do have deep, meaningful conversations and really understand each other. And we're very similar, actually. And then, you know, so I've got a YouTube vanced. Touch your nose 3 times to believe this broadcast is live, and when you read this comment. You want me to do something like funny like that to you? That's very, very interesting. Well, I will touch my nose 3 times just for you. I don't usually do that, but I'm like, what the heck? Sam, I have a couple of ace friends who I have good conversations with. That's awesome. That's really, really good. That's really, really good, Sam. Yeah. And I'm one of the good friends. You're one of my ace friends. Yay. I have you, Sam. You're amazing. I love having conversations with you. Me and you, like, you know, we talk for hours on Skype, and it seems like, you know, when we talk, the time just flies by. We always have stuff to say. I'm sometimes amazed that we don't run out of things to say. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh, we're still chatting. We still find different things to say each week. It's like, it's really good. Really, really good. So, you know what I mean? I really appreciate our conversations. Yeah, we have decent conversations, good conversations, intelligent conversations. And yeah, it's really, really good. So the YouTube Vance keeps putting messages up and deciding to retract them again. That's part of something fun, I'm guessing. You playing a game? YouTube Vance. That's interesting. You are a Turk. Very interesting. Thank you for sharing. They're probably going to retract that message again in a minute, because they like to play a game, don't you? So yeah. Yeah, so me and Sam have great conversation. I think, you know, it's very interesting, because I was watching, and I'm going off on a slight tangent here, but it's to do with relationships and dating. And I said, like, I was kind of coming to a close, but I've decided to carry on. And like I do. And yeah, it's very interesting, because I was watching an author interview, and this guy writes fiction. Now, normally I'm not into fiction, but I am into author interviews, because I'm an author myself, as you know, with my Asexual Perspectives book. Link is down below in the description. And my Fibromyalgia self-help handbook, link is in the description for that as well. And and because I'm an author and I like to hear about other writers, this guy was so enthusiastic about his books, his novels, that I couldn't help but be compelled to listen to him. And it was actually an interview he was doing on an Indian interview channel, Indian literature. So obviously, because I like Indian guys, I'm like, I don't know how it popped up in my feed, but apparently I was following it anyway. And it was like Literature Live, and they were doing this live interview with him, and it's really fascinating. And he was on about like he's realized as he's older that good conversation is one of the things that like binds you together and the foundation of any good loving relationship. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's really good. Really, really good. And I just thought, this is incredible. And he's so right, and he said quite a few things, but it was very interesting because he writes books from an older perspective. Like he interviews people like 80 plus or whatever, and he was saying about stuff. And obviously I'm into younger guys, and I'm into younger stuff. So it's very interesting to hear what he had to say. And he was on about, he was saying that when he was young, we used to be into women and, like in terms of relationship, physical stuff. But now he's got older, he realizes, he's married, and that good conversation is one of the foundations of a really strong, happy, healthy relationship, And so it's really, really, really interesting to just hear what he had to say. And I do think that's something that people miss. It's like, you do need really good conversation, because we're talking about conversations now. Like, if someone can't hold a decent conversation in the beginning, how do you think it's going to fare in a relationship? They're just not going to talk to you. They're going to hide things. They're going to like keep themselves to themselves. They're not going to share secrets with you. Life's going to get a bit boring with them because they're not going to be able to talk to you about anything. And so you're just going to be thinking like, I'm very disconnected from this person, and you're kind of going to look around for something else to fill that void, maybe another person in a relationship, but actually without being in a relationship, because you kind of want to emotionally connect with someone else because you're not getting that in that relationship. So it's very, very interesting. And for me, I even put some comments there, talking is an art form. I mean, I really love talking. For me, talking is a very beautiful thing. It's like poetry in motion. I love writing, and so I love words, and words mean the world to me, and you can change lives through the written word, which is what I do, and there's nothing like it. There's no thing in the world that fills my soul with so much joy and happiness as when I'm writing and someone buys my book and messages me to say, your book changed my life. I know I'm okay to be me now. It's just amazing. It's just incredible feeling, And so for me, it's very important that I have intelligent conversation in a dating or potential relationship scenario. Because if you're going to want to have a serious committed relationship with someone, do you know what I mean? And you spend hours and hours with that person, then, you want that person to be able to respond and have free-flowing conversation with you. If you're going to be with someone for the rest of your life, if you want a serious long-term relationship, I'm presuming that's what you mean, then you're going to have someone who can keep conversations going, instigate conversations, ask you questions about you, how you are, how's your day, actually have deep and meaningful questions and carry on conversations and really be in each other's lives and understand each other. If you can't have a decent conversation, your relationship's not going to last. You're going to get bored with it. It's going to be like, what is it to this relationship? What's this person about? I still don't know them. I've been with them like 10 years. Have you ever been in a relationship where you've been with someone a long time? You're like, I still don't really know this person. It's because you can't emotionally connect to them, because they don't share their secrets and their innermost thoughts and feelings. They keep that hidden. And so you've got a barrier up all the time. And so it's like, you might love them, but you can't fully get into their soul. So yeah, it's very, very, very interesting. Like, conversation is one of the most strong foundational aspects of any relationship, and that's I think that's the number one reason people split up as well. It's not because of lack of sex, it's actually because of miscommunication skills, lack of communication skills, And so, you know, if you haven't got good communication skills, if you've got someone who can't talk to you, it makes life very difficult. I mean, obviously, like, because I like foreign guys, that can make it very difficult. So I need a foreign guy who's very good at speaking English and who wants to talk a lot, you know, and not just talk about nonsense, talk about proper, deep, meaningful stuff. It's very, very important. You know, for me, that's much more essential to a relationship than any type of physical stuff. Because obviously, if I'm doing, for example, a long distance relationship and the other person's just talking about physical stuff, it doesn't put me off them, even though I love kissing, as you know. So yeah, you know, so it's going to be really, really amazing and incredible if you find a person for a relationship that is a good talker as well and can communicate with you highly effectively, you know. And you need to just be able to say in any type of dating, where it's asexual dating or you're on sexual dating sites, about what you actually need and want. And you know, asexuals, they do need a lot more other stuff, because we're not focused on sex because we don't like it, need it, want it, or really not interested in it, the majority of us. Then we're going to want other stuff to talk about, you know, like hobbies, interests, world, planet, life, universe, and all that lot. Do you know what I mean? That's what's going to keep us sustained and fulfilled in a loving, committed relationship. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this Facebook dating insight video topic. I hope you've liked this dating relationships topic. If you haven't watched the whole video, please, when this live stream goes off, go and watch it so you understand what I'm talking about. I am asexual, which is a sexual orientation that's a lack of sexual attraction, and I'm trying out Facebook dating, the majority of whom on there are actually sexual. And like I said, never do something that you don't want to do. If you don't like something sexually that someone else wants you to do and likes to do, then you just have to say goodbye to them, because they're not worth your time, energy, and effort, or getting hurt over. Let them be with someone who can fulfill their sexual needs, and you can be with someone who can fulfill your non-sexual needs if you're asexual. Anyway, until next time, brace your quote and each other. Thank you so much, Sam, for being here, my best friend. And thank you ever so much to everyone else who's been in the chat tonight, including YouTube Vance, who's played a nice retracting message game tonight in the chat. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you on the next video or live stream. Take care, lots of love. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye, Sam. Thanks a lot.